Well, this is day 2 of my trip from Kansas to Ontario. I started in Salina, Kansas, and here you see me flying through Kansas City. On both sides of the border it's called the same. It's Missouri on the other side, and it's Kansas on this one, on this side. And basically the entire day I stayed on Interstate 70, plus some bypasses around big towns. So it was a pretty easy route navigation wise. I increased the speed here in the video 4 times, so what you see, actually what you're experiencing, it's as if you're driving a vehicle at roughly 240 miles per hour. So in Kansas, I didn't run into any problems because this was around, I think, 8 or 9 o'clock. Oh, wait a second. 11, yeah, but that's local time, so it was pretty interesting to watch the city fly by besides my windows. And like I said, there was no traffic delays, no jams. I got lucky here. And Kansas City is not that big anyway. But of course, if this was like 8 or 9 o'clock or close, like late in the afternoon, I might be in trouble. So my goal for the day was to reach Effingham, Illinois, because I didn't want to go through Chicago. So this way I go through Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and then towards Indianapolis, Indiana, and then north to Michigan and the Canadian border. Now this is kind of the end, I think, of Kansas City. The weather was pretty good. As you can see, sunny, no snow, but it was still cold. I think it was like +1 Celsius, I don't know, like 33, 34 Fahrenheit. When you get out of the truck, you needed, some warm clothes for sure. So then I passed basically the entire Missouri, and here you see me entering the suburbs of St. Louis, Missouri. And of course this is a much bigger city, and because of the time, look at the clock at the bottom, it's 4:13, that's Eastern time, so local was 3:13, basically just the start of the rush hour. And I was trying to drive in the curb lane, but then I just gave up because people were jumping in front of me, cutting me off. So I just settled in the middle lane, because sometimes you just, for the safety of others, you have to think about yourself first. Because all these cars, pickup trucks, they don't understand issues involved in operating a big vehicle. So now at one point here, I don't quite remember where, but there was a big jam. Everybody started hitting their brakes. I think we'll be closer to the river. Oh, and you see, we just passed an electronic sign. Yeah, my GPS was basically sending me on I-70 right through downtown St. Louis. And then as I started approaching the city, on the right, every mile, there were these electronic signs saying that 2 lanes are closed at the river on I-70 and use alternate routes. And they suggested Highway 370. And so I decided to listen to that, and here you see me, I took the exit to 370, which is basically a freeway, and then it ends, there's kind of like a junction, and 370 turns into 270 and 370 south. Oh, and here we see that bridge. Yeah, and there was a big accident on the left side, so all lanes were blocked. As you can see, there's fire guys over there, fire department, and nobody was moving. And people in front of me started hitting their brakes. And look at this guy. This guy is all over the place. I was afraid to pass him. He was driving very slow, but his wheels were constantly going over the line, separating our lanes. So sometimes you just gotta be careful, you know. I think this is still St. Louis. Yeah, I'm approaching the river here. There's Mississippi River separating Missouri and Illinois, and there's a huge bridge. Yeah, you see on the right the green sign. Check out again, Mississippi River. Yeah, and this is the bridge. Just 2 lanes on each side, but the river looked great. It's a huge bridge, like takes forever to cross it, and then you see all these signs here. So on this side, that's Illinois. There was just, we passed a sign. I passed a sign that said Illinois. So that's it. At this point, I'm done with Kansas and Missouri part of my trip, and now all I have left is Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ontario. There's another bridge here. I think there was some kind of a canal. This is not the actual river. And this is what, 6:19 Eastern Time. I'm approaching the junction of I-70 and I-57. Yeah, this is Effingham, Illinois. You see on the right that those are the truck. The truck comes from I-57. That's why I moved to the left lane. And then there's something new here. There's a big cross. I don't think it was there before. I think it's a new structure. It looked pretty good, you know, pretty impressive, huge size. And near Effingham, it's all construction again. And I was supposed to take exit 160 for the TA truck stop, but 160 doesn't exist anymore. You have to take 159 as if you're going to Petro. There's a Petro truck stop, but then you cross this little highway and you get back as if you're going back to the interstate, but there's no access to the interstate. You just basically getting to that old, you know, passage towards exit 160. And now this is the correct place. This was where I was supposed to be. And yeah, there's detour signs everywhere, you know, just big construction going on because it's already warm, right? So the construction guys are having a blast. Yeah, and here I'm just crossing over the interstate, and the first left is the one that leads to all these truck stops. There's a whole bunch of them here. Well, there's a Flying J, and then there's a TA. I used to stop at the Flying J all the time when I worked for the company where it was beneficial to our benefit to fuel at Flying J, but now I get my best price at the TA. And so here you see me entering the Travel Centers of America parking lot. And this is already a regular speed, the actual speed of the truck. And this was 5:28 local time, but still the parking lot was pretty empty. Yeah, here you see that Speedco. There's a shop right next to the TA where you can, you know, do some minor repairs. I don't think they do anything serious. I rarely go there. And sometimes I park on the left here at an angle, but then everybody will be passing you all night, people entering and exiting. So I figured just for once I'm gonna park at the very end there where that yellow building is, because that's close to Starbucks and Walmart. You can just walk like a minute to the Starbucks, and then Walmart is probably like 5 minutes away. So I do this big swing so that I can back. I guess that accident in Houston, Texas didn't teach me enough, you know. I should drove in to protect my truck, but you know, I'm just used to backing all the time to be ready to leave. And then I'm ready to back, and that's it. So that's the end of the day, about 520 miles. Mission accomplished.